Greetings and welcome to another Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team video review, where today I'm going over the Hernkyn Yaegirs for Kill Team. But before we get into things, thanks goes to Games Workshop for providing this to review for free. As always, aim to be honest, impartial and constructively critical. And remember, please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of this Kill Team. Do you like them or you're not? And remember, I've got a Discord you can check out for free in the episode description below, an affiliate link at Element Games, and a Patreon if you want to give me some more support as well. But let's get on with the review. So starting off with the roster, the Hernkyn Yaegir Kill Team have Infiltration and Seek and Destroy, which is a nice mirror from what the Hernkyn have, who have Security and Recon. So we've got a nice mirror there, and it's nice to finally see a kill team again with 2 or less archetypes. So this is a 10 operative kill team. You get a leader, then you get all the specialists, and then that's pretty much it. You get the special rules as we go on. For Faction Tac Ops, you have Faction Tac Op 1, Ruthless Exploitation. Reveal this: the first time an enemy operative that isn't ready is incapacitated. If an enemy operative that isn't ready is incapacitated in a subsequent turning point, you score 1 VP, and then if you do this in another turning point, you get another victory point. So basically, if you kill someone turning point 1 who isn't activated, who isn't readied, you can then reveal this and then start scoring it from turning point 2. So it's kind of like a weird twist on Settle Grudges. It's okay. Then you've got Bonds of Loyalty for Faction Tac Op 2. Reveal this when a friendly operative is incapacitated. If an enemy operative that incapacitated a friendly operative itself is incapacitated during the turning point, you score a victory point. And then if you achieve the same condition again, you get another. This is the best Faction Tac Op probably in the game. If someone kills you, you kill them, which is basically playing the game. So this is like, at least Faction Tac Op 1 had some counterplay and setup. This one is just literally, you killed me, I kill you. As I would do normally, I get a victory point. So pretty much always take this. Then for Faction Tac Op 3, you've got Protect Locator Beacon. Reveal this in the target reveal step of the first turning point. Select 1 objective marker. At the end of the battle, if enemy operatives have never been within white of that objective marker, you score 1 victory point. And if a friendly Hernkyn operative is within white of that objective marker and controls it, you score another victory point. So maybe good on situational maps, like maybe Into the Dark. The issue is all your opponent has to do is run onto the objective and they deny you a victory point. So it's okay, right? Very map dependent and probably even kill zone dependent, but definitely always pick Faction Tac Op 2. Now we come on to the kill team abilities. So for the Hernkyn Yaegirs, they have Dauntless Explorers. So if you are not using the close quarters rules in the setup operative step, select up to 3 friendly operatives that can be set up with a conceal order wholly within 2 white of your drop zone and more than blue from enemy operatives and your opponent's drop zone. Operatives set up this manner cannot make shooting attacks or perform the charge action during the first turning point. If you are using the close quarters rules at the end of the setup operative step, in an order of your choice, up to 3 friendly operatives that have a conceal order and are wholly within your drop zone can perform up to 2 different actions of the following for free: either a normal move, operate, hatch, and dash. And operatives that do so cannot make shooting attacks or perform the charge action during the first turning point. So this offsets your, spoilers, low movement that you will see. But effectively, you select 3 operatives and they do either a free 4-inch move, or if they're on Into the Dark, they do a move and a dash, or move and an open door. So you have some nice mobility there, and it's quite reined in, because even if you had ways to fire on silent or change your order, it doesn't matter. You can't do a shoot action or a charge action, which I feel is a nice balancing for this ability, which generally should be applied to every kind of ability that has 4 deploys. Then you have their other ability, Resourceful. So keep a pool of resourceful points in the ready operative step of each turning point after the first. Add resourceful points to your pool determined by the number of friendly operatives in the kill zone that aren't within engagement range of an enemy operative. At the end of each turning point, you discard any unused tokens. So if you have 6 or more operatives, you have 2. If you have 3 to 5, you have 1. And if you have 0 to 2, you have 0. Each time a friendly Hernkyn Yaegir operative that isn't within engagement range of an enemy operative is activated, you can spend 1 of your resource points to either add 1 to their APL, so they go to free APL, or heal them D3+1. Which both is really, really good. Interestingly, you can't use it turning point 1, but that's kind of offset by Dauntless Explorers, but it's still a nice way, especially turning point 2. You should be having 2 resource points at least, so it gives some nice flexibility to this kill team. So for strategic ploys, we have Hidden Engagement for 1 command point. Until the end of the turning point, each time a friendly operative makes a shooting attack in the roll attack dice step of that shooting attack, if it's in cover from the target's line of sight, you can reroll one of your attack dice. Note that your opponent still determines the target's line of sight, as in they get to choose where the cover lines are aligned from. So it's basically, if you are behind cover shooting at someone, you get a reroll, which is pretty achievable. So that's nice there. Then you've got Masterful Blade Work for a command point. Each time a friendly operative fights in combat as the active operative or with a conceal order, in the roll attack dice step, you can reroll one of your attack dice. Once again, very good. So if you're charging and you're initiating the fight, you get a reroll. Or if you have a conceal order, you get the reroll as well. So basically, offsets if you're hiding turning point 1 and get charged, and then if you still get the charge, turning point 2 as well. So pretty good. Then we have Tough Survivalists. Until the end of the turning point, the first time each operative fights in combat or a shooting attack is made against it, in the resolve successful hits or combat of that shooting attack or combat attack, you can halve the damage inflicted on that friendly operative, rounding up from one of your opponent's successful hits to a minimum of 2. So it's basically the Star Strider damage negation, but better. It just turns on because they're tough. Don't need to be on an objective. Don't need to be within red of your opponent's drop zone. You just have to spend 1 CP to halve one of their attack dice damage down to a minimum of 2 of your choice, which is, I'm sure, fine. Then for their last strategic ploy, in position for 1 CP. Until the end of the turning point, while friendly operatives have a conceal order, they are always treated as having a conceal order unless they have, excluding, even if they have advantage. So effectively you spend 1 CP for super conceal, which I'm sure is totally fine as well. But you do have 4 really good ploys that if you are spending them all, you're burning 4 CP turning point 1 or 2. Well, more likely turning point 2. So just very good strategic ploys. Then for tactical ploys, we have Stalwart Defense for 1 CP. Use this ploy when an enemy operative ends a move within engagement range of a friendly operative. Select one other friendly Hernkyn Yaegir operative visible and within red of that friendly operative. You can then perform an Overwatch action with that operative, but can only target the enemy operative and only if it's a valid target. However, you ignore all other operatives when selecting a valid target and determining cover. So the friendly operative doesn't provide cover to the enemy operative, but it's basically a nice way to go like, oh, you charge one of my guys, shotgun to death or bolt pistol. So nice there. Then we've got Hardy for 1 CP. Use this at the start of the roll defense dice step of a shooting attack made against the friendly operative. Change your opponent's retained crit saves to normal saves, but they still trigger critical hit abilities, which is basically what the Hernkyn have, so that can be situationally good. Then you have Bonds That Bind for 1 CP. Use this tactical ploy when a friendly operative is activated. Select one other friendly operative visible and within blue of that operative that is eligible to be activated. After the first operative activation ends, you can activate that other friendly operative. Neither operative can be a bombast operative if its Warlock negotiation ability is used at the start of the firefight phase. So that we'll cover later, but basically for 1 CP you get to GA2, which is actually a very powerful ability. Then your last tactical ploy for 1 CP is No Kin Left Behind. So use this tactical ploy when a friendly operative is incapacitated. Before the operative is removed from the kill zone, remove your fallen kin token from the kill zone if any, then place it underneath the operative as close as possible to the center of its base. Each time a friendly operative within blue of your fallen kin token fights in combat or makes a shooting attack, in the roll attack dice step of that combat or shooting attack, you can retain one of your failed hits as a successful hit instead, or retain one of your normal hits as a crit instead. So basically a nice way to punish someone getting too close. Like if they've killed one of your operatives, you can then spend a CP to basically make a bubble of killing, which is nice and thematic, so pretty decent. So for operatives first, we have the Thane. So he is 2 white movement, not 5. He's moving 4 inches, 2 APL, GA1, 3 defense, a 4-up save, and 9 wounds. Right, so he has a bolt revolver, a bolt shotgun, and a plasma knife. So his revolver hits on freeze, 3-5, range 5, lethal 5-up. Then his shotgun, short range is 4 attacks hitting on 2s, 4-4 range red, and the long range profile hitting on 4s, 2-2. And then he has a plasma knife, which is 4 attacks hitting on 3s, 3-5, lethal 5-up. So his main abilities are Veteran Adventurer, so in the ready operative steps of each turning point after the first, if this operative isn't within engagement range of enemy operatives, add 1 to your resource points. So effectively you're going to have 3 turning point 2, and it's really key he stays alive. Then you have Outright Conviction, which is Interesting. The first time this operative would be incapacitated during the battle, it is left with 1 wound remaining instead and cannot be incapacitated for the remainder of that action. All remaining attack dice are discarded, including yours if this operative is fighting in combat. So for some reason, he's so stubborn, he takes 2 actions to kill, which is very strange, right? And allows you to be overly aggressive with this leader, especially into certain teams that can only do 1 fight or shoot action. Oddly, elites will be able to deal with him to an extent, but it's just very, very strange. Otherwise, he's okay. Like, you just keep him in the backfield. He can move up and punish stuff, but you want him alive for veteran adventurer. Then we have your Bladekin, so it has the standard profile of the kill team. So everyone's 4 inches, 4 up save, and 8 wounds. They have a throwing plasma knife, which is 4 attacks, hit on freeze, 3/5, range red, lethal 5 up, limited and silent, so they can only throw it once. And then dual plasma knives. So 4 attacks, hit on freeze, 3/5, lethal 5 up, relentless, which is pretty good. This operative can perform a charge action while it has a conceal order, thanks to Hunter. Nope, you still can't charge if you use your forward deploy ability. And then it's got irrepressible hardiness. If this operative is incapacitated in combat, you can strike with 1 of your remaining attack dice before it's removed from the kill zone. So it's a nice option if someone's going to kill you in 2 hits or 1 hit, you're always going to be striking back. So it actually makes charging this operative kind of punishing, especially with the relentless and lethal 5 up. So very good overall. Then you have your Bombast, who is very fine. So he has wrought lock revolvers. So he has 4 attacks, hitting on freeze, 3/5, range red. Oh, sorry, range 9 because it's range red and blue. So it's 9-inch range balanced and lethal 5 up. And then he has fists, which is 3 attacks, hitting on force, 2/3. So he has wrought lock negotiation. So at the start of the firefight phase, before operatives are activated, this operative can perform a free shoot action. If it has a conceal order, you can change it to engage to do so. And then it has Brazen Killer. So each time this operative incapacitates an enemy operative, roll 1d6 separately for each other enemy operative visible and within white of the enemy operative. If the result is greater than the other enemy operative's APL, you subtract 1 from their APL because he goes for like gruesome kills. So the weird thing is, he effectively, like let's say you've won initiative. End of turning point 1, you move and dash onto a vantage point or within white of someone. You're going second. He activates first before your opponent activates and kills someone. Or if you're going first, he activates, switch to engage, shoots someone, kills someone, then moves and shoots another. It's interesting. Like, wrought lock negotiation should say if you do perform that shoot action, you can't then do it when you next activate unless you're going as the defender. Like, it's so crazy. Like, the model technically has psychic eyes, so he could be a psychic, but he's not. So it's just overly powerful, like especially with the 9-inch range. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's totally okay. Then we have your Gunner, who has an APM launcher and fists. So the APM launcher has 3 different profiles. It has armor piercing, 5 attacks hitting on 4s, 4/5 AP1 cumbersome. Breaching, which is 5 attacks hitting on 4s, 3/5 blast white cumbersome. And then high explosive, 5 attacks hitting on 4s, 2/4 blast blue cumbersome. Then it has weapon bipod. Each time this operative makes a shooting attack with this APM launcher, in the roll attack dice type of that shooting attack, if you have not moved during the turning point, you can reroll any of your attack dice results of 1 result, e.g. 2, or like if you rolled 3 2s, you reroll all those 2s. So at least it's not relentless, but already having a better bipod than the scouts, but we'll get onto that later. Then it has cumbersome. You can't move more than 3 white in the same activation that this operative performs a shoot action with this ranged weapon. So you only move 4 inches regardless, but you could, if you gave it +1 APL with your field resourceful ability, you could move and dash 6 inches and shoot someone. Although generally it's a weird operative, right? It's basically got the reroll ability from the Commando Rocket Boy, although not getting full relentless. But I'm surprised they didn't just say if you didn't move for your entire activation, because it's already a confusing rule. But regardless, it's a very good operative where you're generally finding your armor piercing or actually your high explosive, because the blast blue is more likely to get more people than the blast white. So a very good operative once again. Then we've got your Iron Break. He has a bolt revolver, which is a normal bolt revolver. So it's 4 attacks hitting on 4s, 3/5, range red. And then he's got an Entrencher Shovel, which is 3 attacks hitting on 4s, 3/4. So He is the operative that completely invalidates the scout squad, but you have the minefield. So the minefield ability, you have 5 minefield tokens for the battle. On the reverse side, so if you didn't get the starter box, good luck with these tokens. 3 of them are Hypex mines, see right, and 2 are blank. So already you will need 5 tokens, 3 identically marked and 2 blank, so you have 5 tokens altogether. At the end of the setup operative step, you can set up any number of your minefield tokens reverse side down. Their specifics aren't revealed. Each token must be more than white from enemy objective markers, enemy operatives and access points, and more than red from your opponent's drop zone and your other minefield tokens. Each time this operative is readied, and if it's not within engagement range of enemy operatives, you can reset one of your flip tokens within white of it, and you flip it back over again. So for Hypex mines, each time an enemy operative moves or is set up within white of your reverse side down minefield tokens, as long as no friendly Hernkyn Yaegir operatives are within white of that token, interrupt the action and flip the token over. If it's blank, there's no effect. If it's a Hypex mine, the enemy operative suffers 3 mortal wounds and then you roll a d6. If the result is under the target's save characteristic or invulnerable save, your opponent chooses which, it suffers an additional mortal wounds equal to the dice result. In any case, leave the token where it is and the enemy operative then continues its action. So, if they flip into a Hypex mine, they take 3 mortal wounds, and let's say they have a 5-up save. If you roll a 4-up, they take another 4 mortal wounds. If you roll a 1, they take 1. But it's kind of crazy hitting operatives with 6 or a 5-up save, because literally on a 4 or 5, they either take those amount of mortal wounds. And the crazy thing is, while it's kind of okay, on open is going to be very punishing. Basically maps where there's choke points, right? Any maps where there's 3 choke points, where there's usually 3 choke points, you put 3 Hypex mines. Like, you might as well put the 2 blank ones anywhere unless there's more choke points. But basically, you just have this guy babysitting one of your Hypex mines that are going to pop off. And yeah, you just completely just bomb the minefield because they never go away. All they do is flip back over if this operative is within white of one of them at the start of a turning point. So there is some counterplay, but it's like the scout mines, but way better because they can take more than one. So it's kind of funny. Like, you always take this guy. The only downside is, as I said, you need to have 5 specific tokens for him, which you won't get unless you get the Termination Kill Team box. Then we have the Riflekin, whose brother is the Pistolkin and the Axekin. So he has the Magna Coil Rifle, which is 4 attacks, hitting on 2s, 3/3, AP1, heavy, silent, and mortal wounds 3 on a crit. Then he has Fists. So he has a Weave Wick Cloak. Each time a shooting attack is made against this operative, in the roll defense dice step of that shooting attack, before you roll defense dice, if it's in cover, retain 1 additional dice as a successful normal save as a result of cover, or resolve 1 additional critical save instead of a normal save as a result of cover. So basically, if for some reason this silent guy is shooting from cover on engage, he's better to save. Otherwise, he's decent. Like, the cool thing is the sniper rifle is AP1, is heavy, but AP1 is pretty good. So yeah, fine. Then you have the Tracker. The Tracker, no copyright infringement going on here. So he has the Sinner Handbow, which is 4 attacks hitting on 4s, 3/5 silent. Then a Throwing Hatchet, which is 4 attacks hitting on 3s, 3/5 range red, limited, silent with rending, right? So he throws his axe better than he fires a crossbow. Then he has a Hatchet, which is 4 attacks hitting on 3s, 4/5. My gosh. He has the Panspectral Visor. So when determining line of sight for this operative, enemy operatives within red of this that aren't ready cannot be obscured and are treated as having an engage order. So unless they have super conceal, he can effectively always shoot at them. Each time this operative fights in combat or makes a shooting attack against an enemy operative within red of it, if that enemy operative isn't ready, in the roll attack dice step of your combat or shooting attack, you can reroll any rollers of attack dice of 1 number, which is pretty good. So basically, he's your Punisher operative. If you out-activate someone or are going to have the last activation and he can basically get within red of someone, you can throw quite a lot of damage because you can move and dash and then throw his hatchet or move, whatever, get into position. So a really nice operative there. Also, really like Splinter Cell. Then we have your Yaegir Warrior. So it's 8 wounds, 4-up save. It either has a bolt revolver, and plasma knife or shotgun and fists. So if it has the revolver, it's the standard revolver. And if it has the shotgun, it has 4 attacks hitting on 3s, 4/4 range red, with a long range profile hitting on 5, 2/2 damage. And basically, you always take 3 of these with shotguns, because you'll see when we get to the equipment, because you're always going to have 3 warriors to take, and you want 3 warriors with shotguns. So now we come on to the equipment. So firstly, you have plasma knives for 2 equipment points, bolt revolvers for 1 equipment point, and a shotgun for 3 equipment point. So these are all for your warriors. Now, if you take 3 warriors with knives and bolt revolvers, if you wanted to give them all shotguns, that'd be 9 equipment points. But if you take 3 shotguns and give them all plasma knives, that only costs you 6 equipment points. Because if you wanted to give them a bolt revolver for some reason which is worse than a shotgun, then you're spending the extra equipment point. But if you take 3 warriors with shotguns, it's 6 equipment points to give them knives as well, which is what you always do. Because you have climbing equipment for 1 equipment point, which is fine. Then you have stabilized shells, which you can load either at the start of the turn or change it during your action for 1 equipment point. So you select a bolt gun, shotgun that they're equipped with. And if it's your leader, you improve the ballistic skill by 1. But it changes the profile to 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, 2/4 from 4/4, to range red and blast black. So you get some blast, which is okay, but not really worth taking in my opinion. And then you also have the gravitic concussion grenade, which is a frag grenade, which is 2/4, which is fine. Like, you're always going to take one of these. And then you have the KV Ceramide undersuit for 1 equipment point, which basically turns you into a mini breacher. So each time a shooting attack is made against this operative, if the ranged weapon has the blast torrent special rule, in the roll defense dice step, you can reroll 1 of your defense dice and you are unaffected by splash. So that's nice, but as I said, generally you go 3 knives for 6 equipment points, then a mix of climbing gear and the grenade. So pretty straightforward equipment there. And then also you have the standard narrative rules you get with every kill team, which gives you all those narrative things you want to play narrative games and leagues of kill team. So overall, the Hernkyn Yaegir team is interesting, right? They're offset by being 4 inches across the board. They're not 5 inches like their half-kin brethren. And the funny thing is they just completely invalidate scouts. I have never witnessed this before. I think in any Games Workshop game where a new faction, especially one released in the same season as a previous faction, completely invalidates the other faction. I have no idea why you would ever take scouts now unless they get massively buffed, when the Hernkyn Yaegers do exactly what they want to do, but in a better and more interactive way. Like, they have better scouting rules, they have better mines. It's just bizarre. Like, this is just a random tangent, but I could understand if this team was designed like a year after the scouts, but it's like someone looked at the scouts and went, I can do that but better. And then that's just what's happened. It's so weird. So I actually like this kill team. I think it's quite of a threat. I did mock it for basically the team that moves 4 inches with 6-inch range weapons. But they do have some tools, like they have a crossbow that's long range, a really powerful rocket launcher, and then some other tools, like the fact they get those 3/4 deploys turning point 1, and then going from turning point 2 onwards, you're giving at least 3 operatives plus 1 APL. So all of a sudden you can get into situations really nice. They're quite interactive. Like, they have lots of ways to play around not having a medic. And the comms, they have an auto score faction Tac Op. Like, faction Tac Op 2, as I said, is probably the easiest faction Tac Op on the game. It's just literally play the game for 2 VP, and basically you're always going to go seek and destroy with this kill team. They could play infiltration, but just play seek and destroy. And seek and destroy is really good at the moment. The leader is really annoying to deal with because he takes 2 actions to kill, and it only does trigger the first time. But let's say you knock him down to 1 wound. He then activates. If it was a shooting attack, he heals himself potentially up to 5 wounds, so then he's no longer injured and just runs away, or just like kills you and then runs away. So it's just really odd, because it means they're technically 11 operatives, because you have to kill for killing purposes, because you have to kill the leader twice effectively. But they're a really powerful kill team. Like, as I said, your mine guy is just going to have a field day on kill zones with like lots of choke points that are not near objectives. And then your Pistolier is just crazy. Like, as I said, if your Pistolier is going first, he flips to a ready, shoots someone, and then he activates and he could like move and dash and shoot someone again. So you could easily incapacitate 2 operatives. And if you group activated someone, he can activate, because it's not really an activation. He just does a shoot action. Then he activates. Then you spend a CP for someone to activate within blue of him. So he moves and dashes, kills someone, and then someone else moves, dashes, and shoots someone else. You could potentially kill 3 operatives before your opponent activates. It's crazy. Like, they do blitz 8 and 7 wound teams, which is actually quite common in the game at the moment. They do struggle a bit into the elites until you remember most of them have plasma knives, so they'll just stab the elites anyway. So it's just a really interesting kill team. I think they are probably better than the Hernkyn Salvagers, because even though they don't have the free up save and the crit grudge mechanic of the Hernkyn Salvagers, this team is way more flexible and more mobile, and more importantly can play the mission better, because you can literally use those 4 deploying operatives to get on objectives you need to capture. So they're a very good kill team. They're also quite CP hungry, and I think they're going to be a lot of fun, but they're going to be very hard to play, because I think people are going to struggle at first getting around the 4-inch movement, because if you look at it, effectively every time someone activates turning point 2, 3 of your operatives should be free APL, so they should be either charging 6 inches and fighting, or moving and dashing 7 inches and then shooting someone. And then, as I said, like, it's only a 1-box kill team, so you only ever need 1 box. Always go 3 shotguns, because it's 6 equipment points to give them plasma knives, and then you've got shotgun and plasma knives. Like, it's just a really efficient team, and I can see a lot of tactical depth from it. I would say it's at least B tier, B to A tier, a very powerful kill team, and just kind of straightforward, but enough tactical depth. I think they'll struggle into like bigger hordes, but they actually have tools around that. They do only have 1 frag grenade, and then you have your, you know, RPG guy, which is pretty fine. Like, I think they're a team that will struggle if they lose operatives quickly early, but they're kind of offset by that. But the biggest downside for this kill team is they don't have cowboy hats. They need cowboy hats. I would model them with cowboy hats if I used third-party stuff on my miniatures. Unfortunately, Games Workshop don't really make a cowboy hat kit. I think they should. That would make this team 10 out of 10. Because my favorite thing actually to do with this kill team is to go, it's Yaegiring time, and then Jaeger all over the place from turning point 2 onwards. So it's great fun, and I would actually recommend it. I think they're really good. Maybe broken in a few areas, but that has unfortunately kind of been the trend for Season 3. But that's pretty much it for me today. Please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of today's video. Did you like my review of the Hernkyn Yaegirs? Do you think the Yaegirs are cool? Or, you know, let me know what you think of them. And remember, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below, and a Finland Element Games, and a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. And I'll quickly shout out my patrons. So for my Adepts of the Crit, I have Willax, Tom, Super Cow, Sam, Nick, Mercenary Q, Kenzie, John Thomas, Graham, Freeman Go, David, Dave Meets World, Dad of Goldens, and then for my Veterans of the Crit, I have Samja. So thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot to me and helps support the channel. But yeah, I also have a review of Kill Team Termination, as well as the Brood Brother Kill Team. So if you check all those out as well, that would be great. And yeah, my Finland Element Games. And I should have an article version which does a brief summary with some more photos if you prefer article formats. But that's pretty much it for me. Remember, no matter what happened in the wild west of Kill Team, it's always Yaegiring time, as long as you can roll a crit.